Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 21 of Direwolf20's Server Play series. Kind of off by myself today, one or two folks online, but mostly me. Soren is unfortunately not recording tonight because he's a bum, has something like important like school going on or something silly like that, so I am just here getting some videos in. So I just got back from Minecon. It was a lot of fun and I had a good time. I'm going to do a special video dedicated to like how Minecon went and everything. But today's episode, I built a nifty little room over here and I kind of tried to extend what Soren's style was down here, and it actually looks like it turned out half decently. Yay. Oh, missed the spot. Yoink. There we go. I'm thinking I would like this to be my Botania room. As you guys know, Botania is definitely a mod that I like playing with a lot of the time, and it has some cool stuff that I would really like to get my hands on. I haven't gotten around to making like the sash that I like and some of the nifty tools and gadgets that Botania has to offer. And with that in mind, I would also like to take a new approach to a couple of the things within Botania. So we've seen me do Botania many different ways. I have a new plan on how I'm going to start off with Botania. It's an interesting and cool build that I think will work out. It's actually a plan that I came up with when I started Botania in my single player series many moons ago that I wasn't able to do because of a bug. And I'm looking forward to showing it to you because I think it's an extremely efficient way to get started with Botania. So, without further ado, might raise the ceiling a little bit, and we'll come back in a minute to get started with a couple of the Botania basics with a new approach. Alright guys, let's get to work, because I've got some cool stuff planned. Petal Apothecary first, of course, so let's get that set up. Real quick, we will pop this guy here, this dude. We're going to want a world interaction upgrade, which I just realized I forgot to grab one of. Oh great. Don't have any in the AE system. Blame Soren. I know where to get some though. Two ought to do. So this will be the automation for getting, water piped into there. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, that this will work. Maybe I always forget. Let's do this here. With world interaction upgrades, cool. And the Petal Apothecary here will hopefully fill up. If not, I have another way to do it eventually, obviously. Could have sworn that was added by now, but I guess not. I always try, just because I hope that it'll work. Alright, let's get the first step, which will obviously be the Pure Daisy. So we can get just a few useful things here. I'll go ahead and scoop up a little bit of water to refill that thing. There we go. And the Pure Daisy, I'm thinking, let's see, I do want to do it in a 3x3 area. Maybe here would be a nice spot. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, well, you know what I could just do? There we go, definitely better. And make sure I have a piece of dirt. With the Pure Daisy there. So step one will be creating an automation system, which is different from any automation system I've done before around the Pure Daisy. And for that, I'm going to use applied energistics. There's actually a really good way to go about this. Like I said, I kind of had this idea early on in my single player series. However, there was a bug which made this not work. So what I want are some annihilation and formation planes. We're going to want 8 of each. So let's take a look. To do this, we're going to want the following. So I'm going to put the formation planes on the bottom. Now this will need to be something of a specified colored subnet type deal. So I'm going to make these all color applicator white cables. Cool. And I will put the formation planes on there. Now you cannot filter formation planes and how they work. Hey, come back here, you. So there's no filter that, oh, you can put filters on formation. It's the annihilation planes you can't filter. So we're going to want to filter this with the following. We're going to want wood and stone. So each of these will be filtered with wood and stone. Cool. So wood and stone, wood and stone, wood and stone, wood and stone, wood and stone. So only wood and stone can be placed here. okay, by the formation planes. Now, conversely, we're also going to want some annihilation planes. These are going to be a little bit harder to deal with. And I think I'm going to build most of the logic inside this wall. So let's clear this thing out real quick, and then we'll put it back, because I want it to look nice too. There we go. So underground here, we're going to want to have some cables that will also be colored white. And I'll bump this out here. I don't think it needs to be quite this far, but this will be good. And I'm going to put an ME controller there. And that will allow all these 8 channels to work. And then on top of this, we're going to run some other cables. And these will run around the top. And these are where we're going to have our annihilation planes. And I want to color applicate those black. Sounds like a good color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One, 2, 3, 4. That should be good, right? So white will be the formation planes and black will be the annihilation planes, and they will get placed like so. And what you'll discover about the annihilation planes is they're the ones that don't have a UI for me to configure what's allowed in there and what's not. So we need to build this system with that in mind. So remember, formation planes won't pull actively from a system. You can push items to a formation plane, but you can't actively pull from the system and dump it into the formation plane. So we're going to need to have a way to push it in. And the best way to do that is with an ME interface. So I'm going to run some cabling over on this side of the world. Okay, and we're going to have the following. We're going to put an ME chest and an ME interface right here. And while I'm waiting and doing this, I do want to go ahead and convert you and you. I want one of each, living wood and living stone, so that I can use them to configure things. So we'll go ahead and run some cables here. And these will be color applicator red. That sounds like a good color. 1, 2, nice. And we'll probably wind up with the interface. And I should probably move this over one so that it doesn't touch. Not that it's that big a deal, but. So we'll do another color applicator red on this dude, and this will be the ME chest. And in the ME chest, we're going to put a 4K storage cell, which we'll talk about in just a moment. So what's going to happen is we're going to put smooth stone and wood into the ME interface, and it's going to actively look for a place to push those items, because ME interfaces will push out of their inventory into the nearest available spot they can store items. We're going to configure the chest so that it can't allow those types of items to go in. So the only other place they'll be allowed to be pushed will be onto the formation planes. Cool, right? So we're going to check that out in a minute. The other thing we're going to want to do is get some cabling over here. So I don't know where the nearest ME connection would be. I'm guessing it's over here. Oh, look, there's some going this way. Sweet. Just trying to figure out what Soren's, stuff is. Let's go into bat mode. I don't want to get in trouble, Soren yells at me. So it looks to me like we've got a storage bus here. How does he have this set up? An ME interface with a storage bus, some of that stuff, all kinds of other things I don't even understand. Help. But that's okay, we'll figure it out. Let me go ahead and figure out how to get wiring over in that direction, and then we'll come back. Alright guys, so here's my tentative plan. I'm going to run some dense cabling out this way, and then right through here. So what I'll probably want is a P2P tunnel on this dude, and we will memory card him up, which I thought I still have my memory card on me, but I guess I don't, because I'm a derp. And we will save the location of this tunnel, and then we'll just run a bunch of smart cable this way. And if Soren yells at me, he can fix it when he gets back online. So he gets for not being here when I'm doing applied energistic stuff. And load the settings, and that should be cool. So into this, we're going to want to connect the following. So first off, we don't actually want the data network connecting here. So all we want is some quartz fiber. We're going to put our dense cable here so that it comes out, but then we'll put quartz fiber, and we will tap that into here. So that we should wind up with this thing being powered, in theory. Potentially, maybe. Device offline, 2 of 8 smart cables, device offline. This should be working. But like I said, in theory. Maybe I missed a cable somewhere, though probably wouldn't say 2 of 8 if I missed a cable. So you've got 0 of 32 channels, which is what you should have. You're piped into... Oh, right, I need to... You need power. So that should be what I need to do. Let's see if I did it correct. Yes, look, everything's on. Nice. So I just need to power the smart cable there. Okay. Cool. We are good then. All right, so now what we do is the following. We're going to break this thing. And in here, I'm going to use a cell workbench to say that this 4K storage cell is allowed to have Livingwood and Living Rock. Okay, those are the only things allowed to be stored on this cell. And this cell is going to go into the ME chest. So the only thing allowed in the ME chest, I can't shift click anything in here except Livingwood and Living Rock. Cool. So that means that when the annihilation plane tries to break the block, it's going to look for somewhere for it to go. It's going to wind up finding that the only place it's allowed to go is into the ME 4K storage cell. The interface, on the other hand, is going to where we're going to put stone and wood. So watch what happens. When I put stone in here, like so, boom, immediately it all got placed by the formation planes. The reason being that the ME interface is actively trying to push the stone into the network. The only place it's allowed to go is in the annihilation plane's inventory, which is the inventory, the space above it, because it's not allowed to go into the ME chest. Now, once these guys transform into Living Rock, courtesy of our Pure Daisy in there, the annihilation planes will look for a place that it can put in and destroy and place the Living Rock. Cool. The reason it's not being broken now is because it has nowhere to put the stone. Like the annihilation planes are saying, I have stone, I want to break it into cobblestone, where can I put cobblestone? There's nowhere in this little sub-network that cobblestone is allowed to live. The only inventory is the ME chest, and the ME chest is only allowed to have Livingwood and Living Rock. So the stone or cobblestone can't be broken and placed in there. Cool. So what we're going to wind up with is in just a moment, we're going to see these guys all convert to Living Rock. And when that happens, the Living Rock is going to be placed in the ME chest because it's allowed to accept Living Rock by the annihilation planes. And once there's inventory space above the formation planes, the smooth stone will be placed there. How cool is that? While that's occurring, I'm going to grab... Oh, there we go. It just went. Boom, 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 boom. Nice. And look, the stone got replaced. If we look in here now, we should have several pieces of Living Rock. Nice. Now, the other thing we want to do, there's a couple things I want to do at this point, actually. Let's go ahead and grab more stone. And more wood. And I'm going to place some wood in here. So what will happen is I'll let this run... Actually, let's let it run one more time. I'll let it run just good enough here. So what should happen is the stone should get destroyed when it's living stone again, and then we'll place the oak wood there. Because same deal with the wood, right? It's looking for somewhere to put wood. Wood won't be allowed in here, so it won't be broken, and that's all cool. The other thing I want to do is grab a storage bus. ME storage bus. And we'll put this back here. And the reason for that, obviously, will be so that the main AE network will have access to what's in the storage bus. So let's color, this was black cable, right? So let's color that black. Not that it needs to be, but it will help make sure that things don't connect when they shouldn't. I guess, oh, we just heard a lot of, nice, look at that go, huh? Cool. So oak wood and living rock. So a very efficient system, obviously. The moment it converts, it's broken. There's no need to like set up any timers or logic. Just, you know, it knows what to look for, and it's pretty much done. Like I said, the only thing we need now is some smart cabling. This will tap into the dense cable that we already have here. Boom. That brings the storage bus online. It says missing channel, it's lying for a second. There we go, online. So now if we look in here, we should say that there is 1 living wood and 17 living rock available to the main AE system. So the storage bus there, anything that's in the chest is available to the main AE system. How awesome is that? The other thing we might want to have in this room is a terminal. So let's get a, I'll use a crafting terminal. I think that would be smart. If we wanted to be cool about this, we could probably give this thing its own color. So which colors haven't I done yet? I don't think I've used blue. So we'll use blue. Hey, I said blue. There you go. Nice. And you will also be blue. And I guess we'll have... There we go. Terminal, access to what should be the entire AE system, in theory, presumably. Unless you're getting confused by this smart cable thing. Yeah, I think this thing touching here is a bad thing. So let's just, for now, that was probably confusing the system. The fact that they were, that kind of made them all interact with each other, which is not what we wanted at all. There we go. So now, there we go. Awesome. So everybody's happy. You're cool. We should have good stuff in here. Living wood and living rock is the only thing allowed. Oak wood and its set up there. We might want to set up some kind of export bus here so that the ME interface can be filled with smooth stone and such, but I don't want to do that too much. So I have an idea around how I might want to, well, there's a couple things that I might want to do with that. I want to limit how much living rock and living stone. I don't want this to go on forever, right? So let's see. I might want export bus ×2. I can put, I actually want to hang on to those. So 2 export buses. Do we have any level emitters in here? Got 1. Looks like I'm going to have to craft some. And by craft some, I mean abuse equivalent exchange. Oh, look at you. Okay. How about calculation processors? Good. So we've got export buses. We're going to want the card that allows you to redstone control card. Yes. I found at this level of EMC it's just easier to do what I just did. So 2 redstone control cards. So I want an export bus that will export living wood and living rock into what I'm thinking I'll do is a chest. And we will use translocators, I want to say. Might be a good way to go about this. And we'll probably also want diamond nuggets while we're at it. So then the plan would be as follows. We'll jump into bat mode. We will have a chest here. Who will translocate with diamond nugget. And we will configure this guy to keep. Do we have any more? Good. So let's see, how do we want to do this? Alright, I'm not 100% sure that I can get this to work, but let's see what happens if I do this. So I'm thinking 2 chests here. Okay, and we're going to export bus. I'm going to fill this with, I don't even know, let's say cobblestone or something, or gravel. That works, we have a ton of that. So we're going to make sure that this thing only fills up with, you know, a stack's worth of smooth stone. So we will export bus. Remember, we're tapping into the main AE system with this. And we're going to say export smooth stone. So that should start running rather quickly. Well, maybe not that quick, but do we have any acceleration cards handy? I'm not going to go make so if we don't, but that'll do. They don't have to be that fast of an export, honestly. It's totally not necessary, but since we have 108 export buses, why not? And the same up here. We will export. Try not to fill up the entire inventory with wood because that would be wasteful. So I'm going to gravel it just to protect the inventory type. And we will export bus. And I could be doing this with interfaces, by the way, if I wanted to. Like, that would be just as easy. But you know, either way, it really doesn't matter. There we go. So 64 wood, 62 smooth stone. That looks cool. And then this will be configured. So my only question is, the item translocators, I want them to respond to redstone signal. All right, guys, making a slight change to this design that I'm tweaking now. I got everything working. I'm just now trying to figure out the most efficient way to configure this thing the way I want it to work. So let's put away some junk in my inventory at the moment. That looks halfway decent. Okay. Oh, you guys aren't stacking, that's why. Okay. So what I'm thinking then is this. I have cable anchors here and here. I'm going to have one ME interface whose job will be to keep 8 stone in itself at all times. So that should happen. And then another ME interface whose job will be to, I'm assuming that I did this correctly. Yes, put 8 wood in itself at all times. Cool. Then we're going to have an ME interface up here that will be for this system. And they will be exporting the stone and wood into the network over here. But before that happens, I want there to be an ME toggle bus in between, which should hopefully prevent you guys from running. Cool. So with these guys toggled on and off, let's see, is there a way to interact with those directly? So devices online, we've got these guys on. Now if I were to put a lever here, just want to see if that cuts this off or not. It being right next to another ME interface might be a problem, so we'll find out in a moment. Let's see, you're here. Yeah. All right, let me see if I can get this to work the way I want it to. All right, here we go. This will work. So if there's stone in here, it shouldn't go anywhere. And if there's wood in here, it shouldn't go anywhere because the toggle buses don't have their power. See? Nothing's going anywhere. However, if they receive a redstone signal, like so, let's see, we'll wait for this thing to clear out maybe, or no? Nah, that's all right. So this one's got wood in it, so if I flip the lever, turn it on, it should deploy the wood. Nice. Where are you all going? That line. Well, no, you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. What are you doing? Did you find somewhere to put wood? All right, what did I break? Oh, never mind. I know what was happening. If this formation plane isn't full, it'll recognize these as places that the wood can go. So you want to do 8 at a time, and that problem should be eliminated. Cool. So 8 at a time, much better. So now that that's working again, let's do the rest of this thing. So we're going to configure this guy. So this has 8. This has 8. So we're going to want to put translocator here and here, this like that, configure this to allow 8 smooth stone at all times. So that if we click this guy, and I'm going to actually make sure this is off, okay? There, so he'll keep 8 in there, ready to go. And the same up here. We're going to configure translocators times 2. And we're going to say you get this thing. This will be the wood one, right? So we're going to get rid of the stone. And you will keep 8 of these at all times. Nice. There you go. So that keeps 8 in there, and then this automatically gets refreshed with a new 8. Same with this. Awesome. Now instead of levers here, we're going to use level emitters. So this will be blue cable level emitters. So we're definitely going to want some cable anchors here to prevent anything from connecting where it shouldn't. But what we're going to want then is a bunch of blue cabling. So maybe I'll pre-color this stuff. And the best way to reach over here without connecting to too much stuff might be probably just straight down. So let's make sure cable anchor here blocks this guy. And we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 with the level emitters here and here. Cool. Now these guys will be configured. Oh, there we go. So they kicked on. So let's make sure we configure these. How much living wood and living rock do we have at the moment? So 64. Let's say 64 living wood and 32 living rock, just for temporary reasons. Level emitter, 64 living wood. Emit when levels are below or equal to limit. So when you have less than that, emit a redstone signal, right? And again, for temporary reasons, we will do 32 of these. Less than or below. Cool. This was the wood, so I actually did these backwards. So actually, well, yeah, we'll stick with 32 and 32. How's that? Cool. I will, of course, make this a larger number shortly. There we go. So when this is off, it won't push the oak wood into this area. Neat. And when this is off, it won't push the smooth stone into the area. Make sense? Perfect. So only smooth stone should make its way in there until we hit 32. So next time as it runs through, it might sneak out one more item depending on how quickly this responds to it being turned on and off with the level emitter. But this should be a valid on-off switch for everything. So I'm going to call this a completed build at this moment. Let's see if I'm correct about that. I'm just going to give it a few minutes. I'll put this stuff all away. 59 and 29. I just want to make sure it should be a two-way in and out. So it wasn't. So you know what? This is a storage bus. I'm going to make this a higher priority here. You would think that would work, but it's not. Oh well, either way. So when this all dies, it should turn off the level emitter and stop creating more living stone. And that'll make this something like 5 stacks or something like that. I don't know, we'll figure it out. Cool, so that turned off and no longer making. Nice, that is cool. Look at that. All right, so now, if we look in here at living, if I pull out a stack of living rock, all of a sudden, it should throw stone it as soon as that occurs. Nice. Yes. And then as soon as we put it back in there, the level emitter will be off. It'll no longer be allowed to push out the stone. And I call this a completed build for sure now. Awesome. Be right back. And I think the last thing I wanted to show you guys is that I managed to get this working. So 29 living wood in there. In fact, I'll just take it all out. It doesn't matter. 59. And I'll take half the living rock. It doesn't matter. I think Soren was using a stupidly high number for priority somewhere, and I just had to bump this priority up. I hate to say this. Over 9,000. So it's not working. So we can see that, yes, the things went in there like they should. Everything's behaving. So real quick, I will go ahead and toggle this. Which one's the stone one? This one? I want more stone. So we're going to set this device emitter to be like, let's say 500. Cool. So that'll turn on, and we'll do the same for this guy. 500. Okay? So both of them are set now to keep 500 living rock and living stone in the AE system at all times, and anytime we use some, this little magic thing will kick back on. Cool. I could have done this in an area that wasn't visible, but I just think it looks awesome. Like, it really does look cool. And of course I, fancied it up a little bit outside. That looks nice, right? So I think it looks good. Unfortunately, though, we do have to wrap up the episode right now. So we're going to do that, and we will come back next episode and maybe get into some actual Britannia type stuff instead of just playing with the AE network the whole time. But I think it was a cool design, and I hope you guys enjoyed checking out the episode today. Leave me some feedback. Let me know if you like it. This is, again, a completely different approach on the whole concept of converting stone and wood into living stone and living wood. And I think it's extremely efficient and flexible. This part of the build was a little bit complicated, but it's just a little tricky to get AE to keep a certain number of items, at all times. So, what are you going to do, right? But overall, pretty cool system, I think. All right, guys, for now, Daryl20 signing off. Hope you enjoyed the episode. And as always, take it easy.